This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9 in the KJV. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Yahweh is the Most High God, and Yahushai is who the world inly calls Jesus the Christ. The Rakakwadash is the Holy Spirit. The honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who were well through the Spirit, teaching this word and believing this word, Lord willing that they continue to endure and be sincere. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth, teaching this word and believing this word in the same spirit, that they endure and be sincere. And shalom to the Akwatiyam that are believers of the faith, Lord willing that they continue to pursue their lot, which is being a loving and silent, and virtuous wife. Lord willing they continue to pursue their lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. Lord willing the Most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in faith. This Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9, the NLT, it says, history merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. Nothing under the sun is truly new. This right here is just, an eye opener, to anybody that's still distracted, and not knowing that this is what this is, right? Of course, we watch sports. You're entertained by boxing, hockey, basketball, tennis, rugby, soccer, NASCAR. It's many games, many sports, and they got the Olympics that they do that trace back, and the Olympics trace back to some Lumi Mason stuff. But all these sports goes back into history because it says history merely repeats itself, right? So what we have right in front of us is ancient Rome. Sports. Stadiums were built by tax dollars to house bread and circus events designed to distract the masses from the problems of the decaying empire. Glad we've evolved past that now. We didn't. So they use these distractions to make you feel comfortable while they're doing something else. Let me just get a side precept, if I may. You go to Revelations, a classic of classics, in Yeremiah voice. Revelations chapter 12 and verse 12. You just think that they just gave you these sports and this entertainment just for the hell of it? No, it's to distract you, right? It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. Right? They have a short time. So they're gonna make something to distract you, to keep your mind, really the delinquents. It's really for the delinquents. When you go back into old Rome, which I might have to watch this again, because every time I bring up Rome or Greek, I always go back to watching Spartacus, and in Spartacus it had, which, some of the elders there say that Spartacus, if you was to go back and find, because they are forgers of lies, that Spartacus was an Israelite, right? But they always forge in history, especially when it comes to the Spartans, when it comes to who the real Jews is, right? They're always forgers of lies, giving us a lie that is something that is somebody else, right? But it's really our people. But in the back end, the things that they put in the forefront is to distract you. Just like what the elders always say, even, the brothers I labor with, we always say that the higher elites is not like these small hats, these small billionaires, these millionaires. They show their money, they show their face on TV. The higher elites are not in the scene. That's why people might think this billionaire, this Warren Buffett, he rules it. Bill Gates, the richest man, or Jeff Bezos. No, the richest people don't even show you their wealth. That's real wealth. All them damn billionaires, they got money here and there, but do they really own land? The people that really run this land, right, America, they got their money under under the banks, right? The ones that control the banks, the ones that is putting anybody in power and putting a team in a country to develop democracy or the republic or however that they set it up. That's all from the elites, man. What is it? Nathaniel Rothschild, he said he don't care who they put in office or the face of a country. The one that controls the money controls that empire. And Nathaniel Rothschild at that time was controlling the Britain money, even though America comes from Britain, right? So you got to think like America falls all the way from Europe. The so-called founding fathers, which is not the founding fathers, they come from Europe. They're Europeans. They're test tube Edomites, man. They have a short time. These sports is to distract us. A lot of us, yeah, you got this basketball team, but it's always good to be enlightened to know. So you could be like, dang, these slick mother suckers. Guess what? They got the baddies for you delinquent females. Love and Hip Hop. All those type of shows is for y'all women. And y'all growing traits like these women. Start thinking like these women. This Ecclesiastes 7:10. It says, say not thou what is the cause, that the former days were better than these. For thou doest not inquire wisely concerning this. Right? And this is why you got to know the higher elites, they had that same spirit as their forefathers. They loved entertainment. They probably wasn't in there, but they knew, hey, let's make entertainment to distract them, right? Because they know with entertainment, when you go into the word, it's a new meaning for entertainment. It's a distraction. That's what it does. Ecclesiastes 3:15, that which have been is now, and that which is to be have already been. And God requireth that which is past, right? This has already been done. This already happened, right? Because in the Greek captivity, which I'm about to read right now, this is 2 Maccabees chapter 4. I'm reading the GNT, so it makes it even smooth and plain for you guys. It's so much that we can get out this chapter. Where I want to start? I'm going to start at 7. It says, later, when King Seleucus died and Antiochus, known as Epiphanes, became king, Jason, the brother of Onias, became high priest by corrupt means. He went to see the king and offered him 27,000 pounds of silver, with 6,000 more pounds to be paid later. Jason also offered him an additional 11,250 pounds of silver for the authority to establish a stadium where young men could train and to enroll the people of Jerusalem as citizens of Antioch. The king gave his approval, and just as soon as Jason took over the office of high priest, he made the people of Jerusalem change to the Greek way of life. I got to stop right there because I know a lot of us jump in the New Testament. I'm going to just say it real quick. This should help a lot of people understand why it's saying Greek, neither Jew nor Greek, or when they call them Gentiles. Is because to really be a Gentile is to not serve the one true power, and you fall into paganism. Greek and Rome, they were pushing a lot of paganism, just like Babylon, just like all the other heathen nations. But children of Israel, when it pertains to certain scriptures in the New Testament, and a lot when you get into context, you'll know that this is talking about Israel. Because what happened? That this man Jason and so many other, he made the people of Jerusalem change to the Greek way of life, the customs, the language, and the belief, right? So it had to come to a name changing, to belief, right? When you go into look at us in America, where we're speaking English. Then we start doing Christmas. We start doing these holidays, even if they was from before. And they're all stemming from an idol, a false god. And that's how you become a move like a Gentile or a heathen, or we could say a Greek. Some of our brothers and sisters was worshiping Zeus. That is the Greek way, you know. So verse 11, it says, he began by abolishing the favors that John had secured for the Jews from previous Syrian kings. John was the father of the Eupolemus, who later went to Rome to make an alliance and to establish ties of friendship. Jason also did away with our Jewish customs, right? Jewish wasn't even spoke of back then in that way, right? So it would have been the Jew customs, right? Because mostly in the Greek captivity, it was Jews, right? It was some northern kingdom, but it was majority the southern kingdom, because majority of the northern kingdom came over to the Americas, right? This is why I say no Jew nor Greek, because when it's going into that Greek, it's a lot of Jews that actually yielded to the customs of the heathen, right? Which, just to stay on topic and to prove it, you know, the elder always say fact check. First Maccabees chapter 1, and you just go to verse, I'm going to start at verse 10. I'm going to read verse 10. It says, in the KJV, it says, there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surname Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been in hostage at Rome. And he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. In those days went out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we had much sorrow. Right? That covenant, they made an oath with them. Right? So this device pleased them well. Dropping down to verse 41, it says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and one should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. And when they said be one people, that was going into that democracy, which you would go into when even the Greeks, they made a senate. But you got Rome, they made a senate, you know. This is why ain't nothing new under the sun. Verse 43, it says, yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrifice unto idols and profane the Sabbaths. That just proof everything that I did, that I said, right? The language, the religion, right? And however else, what you eat, how you move, how you dress, right? In that time, a lot of us was probably doing orgies, you know. To continue on with 2 Maccabees chapter 14, verse 11 in the G&T, it says, later went to Rome to make an alliance and to establish ties of friendship. Jason also did away with our Jewish customs and introduced new customs that were contrary to our law. With great enthusiasm, he built a stadium near the temple hill and led our finest young men to adopt the Greek custom of participating in athletic events. Athletic events. What do we have in America? Athletic events. And I'm not trying to just keep saying it like you guys are dumb, but I'm trying to re-say it again so it can hit that light bulb, like when you're watching a cartoon where the light bulb hits you and you start to think. You know, we're in the system of an Edomite system. Greek was an Edomite system, Rome was an Edomite system, and we're in this America, this Rome 2.0 system, right? And they got our people following their customs and participating in athletic events. That That even proves Deuteronomy 28:37 to be astonishment. Athletic events. It says, because of the unrivaled wickedness of Jason, that ungodly and legitimate high priest, the craze of the Greeks' way of life, and for foreign customs reached such a point that even the priests lost all interest in their scarce duties. They lost interest in the temple services and neglected the sacrifices, right? And what do we have here is a lot of people neglecting their own ways, but they don't even know it. Then when somebody trying to teach them, they were too comfortable here. That's what it is. They got comfortable. That's why they didn't care to do the ways of the Lord. So they lost interest in the temple services and neglected the sacrifices, such as soon as the signal was given, they would rush off to take part of the games that were forbidden by our law. They did not care about anything their ancestors had valued. They prized only Greek honors, and this turned out to be the source of all their troubles. For the very people whose ways they admired and whose custom they tried to imitate became their enemies and oppressed them. Right? We admiring. Back then, we was getting our ass whooped in America. Then they start making the little Bojangle fighting in slavery, where you was beating up a slave for meals and all of that. They made it a sport. Then next thing you know, when slavery get abolished, they started to make more entertainment, finding ways to make it because they had to go back into their old roots. Before it was nigga leads, nigga leads, nigga leads. But then they started having a thought when money started to change. Then they started looking at a nigga as a money value. And back then when you was a singer, a rapper, or doing a musician and doing sports, you was getting paid less because this was like the start of this business. Then it grew and it grew. And they look at the wealth that a nigga can make them. Then they even combine other race, right? Italians, regular whites, all different people can be in these sports so that we can't just sit here and say, oh man, we in slavery. Now other people can say that they're in slavery too. But the more that we go in these scriptures, we find out that we're in slavery, we're under our enemies because the Lord sold us unto them because we sinned against him. All these other nations, you just got ruled, especially you three-timing loser Edomites. This is supposed to be y'all kingdom, but that's supposed to show you that the higher up Edomites don't even give a damn about your low ass. You know? Y'all not even supposed to be working because it's supposed to be y'all little rulership. Jake, we not even supposed to work at all because we supposed to be ruling the whole earth. But we fucking fell off and we think, let me get over $100,000. I feel good. Now we coming up with new words. Brokey. If you brokey, I don't want to date you. That's what some of these girls, they quoting a damn song. And brokey means anybody that's making less than 100,000. You're brokey. Well, I'm brokey. I'm brokey. And I used to have the mindset of pursuing these things, being on TV, but the Lord enlightened me. I'd rather be brokey because it helps me to have a humble heart. And then when all shit fail, when things change, it's gonna be easy for me to convert and change and be accepted. Actually, accept the change, right? Because this change is gonna lead to the MOTB, and anybody that got their heart in this system, like this freaking fool, Jason and many others, guess what? You're gonna be the niggas that they're gonna use to promote their new system, right? So let me just finish this last verse 16 and 17. It says, and this turned out to be the source of all their troubles. For the very people whose ways they admire and whose custom they try to imitate became their enemies and oppressed them. It is a serious thing to disregard God's laws, as you will see from the following events, right? It says, once when the king was present for the athletic games that were held every 5 years in the city of Tyre, that worthless Jason sent some men there from Jerusalem who were also enrolled as citizens of Antioch, to take 22,500 pounds of silver to pay for a sacrifice to the god Hercules. You see, this is part of that custom. But even these men did not think it was fitting to use such a large sum of money for a sacrifice. And so the money originally intended as a sacrifice to Hercules was used for the construction of warships, right? You can keep on reading if you want. You know, it all goes into this system, this Greek system, right? This is just crazy, man. Right? So it was something else I wanted to read to you guys to show that even after, like, in the beginning of Rome, and then the beginning in the fall of Greek, they had those sports, and Rome started to pick them up, right? So it says here are some sports that were popular in ancient Rome because they started to pick up that. Actually, let's look up something else too. Um, so I'm gonna read this. It says the Romans, who had already taken over Greece in 146 BC, were considered to be Greek descendants because they were Edomites and were allowed to take part in all of the national sports. Because when you look at Antiochus Epiphanes, I forgot which is in the second Maccabees. He is an Idumean. An Idumean is an Edomite, and there's multiple Edomites that they speak on. Ptolemy, he was an Idumean. He was an Edomite, right? What is it? Cleopatra, she was an Idumean. She was an Edomite. More, it says, yes, the Romans participated in sports after the Greeks. The Greek culture had a significant influence on Roman sport, right? It says Greek influence. After conquering Greece in 148 BC, Rome saw a rapid increase in Greek cultural influence. Wealthy Romans would display statues of Greek athletes in their homes. In some emperors, like Augustus, Nero, they were big fans of Greek culture. How much more in America, man? Whoever created these sports must have had the same thought of the influence of the culture before them, man. Greek games in Rome in 86 AD. It said the first permanent Greek games in Rome. These games included Roman horse racing in competition in Greek and Latin, right? Recreation, Roman sports. Roman participated in a variety of sports, including gladiator combat, chariot races, foot races. Sports were a form of political spectacle, right? A spectacle is a show or a public show, and were often more violent than in ancient Rome, right? Instead of us having chariot racing, we have NASCAR racing. Greek athletic training, where Greek physicians and trainers worked in Roman gladiator schools to help produce the best fighters. Go watch the TV show Spartacus. You know, female athletes, sports and physical practice were part of the physical curriculum for both male and females. Female Romans. Let's go back to that other page. So when they go into the chariot racing, it says a dangerous sport that was the most popular form of entertainment in ancient Rome. Chariots were built for speed and offered no protection to the chariot riders. Chariot races were the main events at the Circus Maximus. Gladiator fights, a popular form of entertainment that involved professional fighters in organized games. Gladiator fights were often used commemorate military victories, celebrate birthdays, and distract the public from political and economic problems. Did you hear that? These things was to either celebrate birthdays or to distract the public from political and economic problems. Right now, the American dollar is collapsing. Everybody getting distracted. What we had? Olympics. You had Cat Williams. You had so on and so on. Now you got the Diddy thing, the Super Bowl, the NBA is back. The baddies, so on and so on. Y'all all you all got hit with a super joke. You know, literally, pop goes the damn weasel. I'm gonna read another little drink. It says sports enjoyed in Rome. In Rome times include boxing, acrobatics, tightrope walking, animal chasing, animal baiting, and cockfighting. Boxing was popular. Some boxers were known for their skill. Others were known for simply being able to take a punishment. Bullfights were held in the Roman theater. Wow, bullfights, right? And you see that in America, where they do the little bull, like where you get on the bull and it bounce around, however that goes. But you can see boxing stemmed all the way back then. And they had, Jake boxing in slavery. And look at this sport now, and you got Mayweather thinking he doing something. But as soon as you tell Jake these things, yeah, I'm still the best at it, though. This shit is crazy, man. So that's dealing with Rome. So I'm going to close out with this right here, man. Lord willing, you understand through the little hiccups, right? So what is it? This is Revelations, going into this prophecy of showing you the first beast. The first beast is Rome, and the second beast is a reflection of the first beast. So first I'm going to read verse 3 in Revelations, the 13th chapter, verse 3. It says, I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. It was Rome that was wounded, and it healed. So it healed, and then it's called the Renaissance, the rebirth, and now America is that Rome 2.0. Right, which has the same power as it had, but even greater than before, but has the same allies, the EU, NATO and EU, right? When you drop down, we're dealing with the second beast, right? Verse 11, it says, and I held another beast coming up out of the earth. Now, this is John seeing a vision of animals, but the animals is pointing to kingdoms, right? And what is a kingdom? Kingship of man, right? So it says, it came out the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, right? And that dragon, when you go back to Revelation 12, was a reflection of Herod, or the Romans, right? And the Romans were Edomites, right? So this dragon is speaking like Romans, like the Romans, right? Verse 12, it says, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Right? So it's really the religion, the system of Rome. And we're in this system. You see sports. So they're really pushing the Rome thought process, the Rome sports, right? The customs. Right, the way of life. But it's getting even worse, because in this side the Lord have given them that technology. This is to prove the opposite of what the Genesis is teaching y'all in Ezekiel 28:3, where the apostles brought out in showing that Esau is wiser than Daniel. And we know, of course, it's talking about the king of Tyre, right? When you go to the point of what you're reading, but it's a double fold. And when we look at it of today now, you got Esau that's able to know your heartbeat, looking at your phone or an Apple Watch. They can watch and surveillance you all the way from a whole nother city. They can fly a whole droid, the airplane droid that's flew in the military, wherever they got it at, and nobody got to be in that damn thing, and it could drop a little bomb. Then now you got Elon Musk that's making damn iRobot. Cars that don't need no pedals, no steering wheel. It drive on its own. Let alone with the Tesla cars that they had, it could drive by itself for a whole minute. No man on earth at any time was making these things. The Lord allowed knowledge to increase for the children of Israel, and he allowed Esau on the left-hand side to become wiser than Daniel. That's a great thing to talk about, because that helps you to reveal who these mother suckers are. No other nation is like them, right? They're pushing the vaccines. They had the thought of making the waster, but it was all the Lord. What is it? Isaiah 54:16. The Lord said he makes the smith, who is the best welder. But when you really look at it, is the engineer, because who make those nukes? Engineers. And those Germans, right? And now who conquered that place, right? Esau, right? Teman, right? A grandson of Esau, right? So you would have to say that nobody had a nuke back then. They're exercising the same power as Rome. And even more, what is Esau's blessing? The sword. And the sword is a weapon. So in every captivity they had, they got better, because Rome had one of the best sword techniques. The gladius, I think that's what it is. The gladius is a short, small sword, but it, like, they was using, I think they was kind of using it in the movie the 300. I think they was using it in that. But they had a beautiful war tactic. Then when knowledge grew, they start making those ship bombs, or the ship things that I forgot what they called, but they was using them on ships. And then it changed, and then they upgraded, and then they upgraded, and then they had bombs, you know. But hey, that's for another day, man. Let me just continue reading this. So verse 12 again, it says, he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. How he gonna do that? Because he's making nukes. That right there, just like, come on, man. The Lord have given him the knowledge on this side to make these things, and that's by the left-hand side. You know, all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And even with these sports, they're exercising the same thing as ancient Rome, even ancient Greek. You know, so Lord willing, this is edifying. This is really just to show, you know, the sports that you're watching, you know, even the entertainment that we watch, you know, they was doing plays back then too. So you got to know that they got you in a whole shit bag. You know, I might go watch a TV show. I might go, all those things is entertainment. It is a distraction, but even more, these other sports and these things we see that they kept having sports and certain events to distract you from economic and political problems. It's really a distraction. Even with the voting shit, that all stems from ancient time, but your vote don't matter. Even when you watch Caesar, when you watch Caesar Augustus, Julius Caesar, you can understand that it's the people that's in power that's really that's making the decision of the vote. They make you think your vote matter. It really doesn't. How can your vote matter, especially Jake, the black Latinos and natives, and you was getting your ass whooped? And they make you think that your vote matter. Who stood up for us that was really for us so that we can sign a paper to vote? Then when you go in the scriptures, the Lord tells us don't put anybody that is not of your kindred to be a king over you. We don't have no power. They just make you think it. And the more, when it even comes to voting, they always talk about the blacks. Because if they get the niggas in a hoax, they get to watch the percentage of how many niggas that vote. Just the same as how many people gonna take this vaccine. Who's gonna let us take them, shoot them in the arm? They're looking at the percentage. They look at the percentage of how many of our people do abortions. Look at your ID, your height, your sex, and your race. When you go get that abortion, it be the same thing. Your medical records, the same thing. They keep a receipt on all those things. This is how they know. You can go look up the statistics of single house homes. You can look at the statistics of aborted babies. You know, they got us in a shit bag, and only the ones that's the true believers are waking up. So Lord willing that this was edifying and this motivates you to understand they are distracting us from what you need to know, which is Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, growing this wisdom, knowledge, understanding, because this, all that we see, is about to go to shit. You know, when this MOTB is pushed, Jacob Trouble is about to hit in the same time, and all the things that you love, it's not going to even mean anything, because Yahweh Shai is on his way. I'm telling you, all these things have to be fulfilled and take place for the coming of Yahweh Shai. Why the hell we entertaining with ourselves with distraction and holding on to those so much and not trying to hold on that Yahweh Shai is literally coming? Again, Shalom, all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. All praises, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well through the Spirit and teach well, Lord willing that they continue to endure and be sincere. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of earth in the same spirit, Lord willing that they can be sincere and endure. And shalom to the Akwatiyim that are believers of the faith and the truth. Lord willing, you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, the Most High have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. Shalom.